Okay, this will be an interesting one. Let's see if we can make this look a real treat. Okay. Wondering we're going to use map mode for this. Hopefully that'll work. This one's going up 400. Going all the way with the contrast. See how we go with this. Okay, let's see what we have. We have here some Souvenir fake money, which is actually note paper. I think it's note, some kind of, Souvenir notepad, and it's got different notes, currency. But you know, being fake, it's not going to be a problem photocopying it because it's fake. It's not real. It's not the actual tender. And of course, people just love money. Of course, these are obviously popular to sell in the souvenir shop because people just love money and pretend that this is real, I guess. Even though it's fake. Yeah, let's see how this fake money looks. Anyway, that looks quite interesting. We've cut almost half his face off. Wondering if we're going to... it looks good. It looks nice and crisp. Wondering how we're going to make this look any good. I'm just going to quickly play with the button. So I'm wondering, move it maybe toward me. Yeah, we'll try that. But yeah, this is pretend money. It's not real. It's not illegal, from my knowledge, to photocopy it. It's not. It's just fake. It's fake currency. Now we've got the edge of the page, unfortunately, but that was true there. So it's obviously we've got this picture nicely framed. I'm thinking we're going to turn it into a movement piece. So we're going to make a movement piece out of this. So yeah, we're not going to make it still. But yeah, money is what so many people, sadly to say, are always into money. You know, money becomes a god, some kind of religion. Money's like a religion to, I think, the majority of the world population. I think most people are basically that fixated on it. They can't live their life the way they should. They can't make a difference. They just care about their own wealth, and that's it. Or they just fantasize. They just have fantasies about it. They can't afford it. They can't do it. They can't make the money, so they fantasize about it. And that's really unhealthy. So whether you've got money or whether you simply fantasize or chase after it in vain, not catching it, well, it's not good. It's not healthy. It's a real mental health issue, being fixated with money. It can be a real problem. Now that looks interesting. It's a real problem, folks, to love money, to just chase after money, and people gambling in that, gambling their savings, gambling their rent money. It's really, really, really unhealthy, folks. It's not good. It's not a good indictment on society, if I'm correct. people just chase after what I simply refer to as the dirty dollar. And that's why the world is in such a mess, because these rich people who have control, and there are only just a few of them in the world that take up most of the money that's in the world. They have the majority of the wealth of this world. They have it all in their hands, and yet they don't want to help others less fortunate than themselves. So yeah, it's a really bad sort of a situation we've found ourselves in as a planet. It's not good for the planet as in the environment, and it's not good for people, their health, their mental health, it's basically really, really, really bad. And we can't just keep going on like this, chasing after the dirty dollar, making profits at the expense of our environment. We've got to fucking make a difference for the betterment, the future. We've got to think of the future, not the short term where we may make some profits. We've got to think of the long term future. We've got to think of what our grandchildren are going to inherit, or their children, instead of just keeping it all to yourselves, just making it into a money fucker's rort. And that's what the world has become like. It's just become a money fuck. It's money fucked. I just don't have any word to describe it. It's as much as it's a fucked up money god world, and people just don't want to make a difference. People just don't care. They just think, as long as I've got money, as long as I've saved up enough for retirement, Oh yes, we do have to save up, but basically we got to somehow find a way to get around how the money fuckers ruin our lives with their bullshit. We've got to fucking find a weakness in their armour, chink in their armour. We've got to find something to attack them with. We've got to fucking... My goal is to build a new generation of copier system that is good for the planet as well as the human race. We've got to make sure that the materials we get for this copier system are recycled materials rather than materials from the ground, from a mine. So we've got to fucking think differently, folks. And we've got to make sure that our machines, that they last years, they last like 60 years instead of 5 years, which I've been told is how long this machine's probably going to last, or is going to last. So, you got to think, you got to make the equipment also easy to recycle. So once it's reached its use by date after 60 years of commission, we basically can pull it apart easily to be recycled into new equipment. So the next generation of photocopiers can be manufactured from that. So you got to think, we've got to learn to think outside the box. We've got to learn to think outside the money fucking box, We can't just remain inbox thinkers. We can't just remain inbox thinkers, folks. We can't just think inside the box and what has already been done and all that sort of shit. We've got to think of a different way of working. We've got to think of a different way of working. And, and most of the money that I earn from this new generation of copier system will go towards science, like to solve real problems like climate change, which we can see as clear as a bell, but people are still denying it. So we've got to fucking see, we've got to basically find solutions to these real world issues that we're having. And we've got to fucking do that, we've got to think of something, solutions to the problems, not being a part of the problem. We've got to be a part of the solution. We've got to turn to renewables instead of fossil fuels. Too much money goes to these fossil fuel companies, and these companies are fucking our planet. Some of the worst polluters are petrol companies that make fuel for cars, if I'm correct. They take up a very large portion of the, I can't think off the top of my head, but basically they are really, really bad. And we have to fucking see beyond petroleum and coal and shit, which these big companies absolutely hang on to because they are fucking rich and they make money out of this stuff. We got to stop this shit, folks. We got to fucking stop it. We got to bloody do something about it. And my goal is to find solutions. As I said, scientific problems. We got to find new energy sources. Like, another thing I want to do is harness the power of lightning as a power source, another form of renewable energy that we've never seen before, that people have been trying to harness but have failed, so far failed. I want to make a difference, and I want to be the first person to do that and to make a difference, and to, you know, and to make the power for free. And all the company has to, all the people have to do when they pay their power bill is pay for the poles and wires that were put up, and that's pretty much it. We want renewables. Now this is looking interesting, but I'm in trouble trying to make this look good. So yeah, we got to think outside the money fucking box. We got to think beyond the money gods. We got to think beyond money. You know, money is a part of life. Yes, I know. It's acceptable that there is money. Money is a part of life. It's a part of humans. We need it. But our attitude is what has to fucking change. The attitude to the money. To be more generous. To invest in things that are good for the human race and the planet. Not to invest in shit. So we have to fucking get a new slant on things. I'm going to enlarge this a bit more on the horizontal. So yeah, we just have to change our ways, folks, so that the future generations can also enjoy pretty much what we had, however much worried we've been watching all these things go wrong and all that. Let's see if I can make this look any good. Okay. Yeah, that looks nice. Still think it could be better. Wondering where the centre of this job is going to be. Wondering if we can enlarge it a little further off, or we're going to leave it like that. I don't know if it's going to look any good. Trying to think. Going to move it up a bit. I do think I'm going to move it up a bit. But yeah, we got to think outside the money fucked box, folks, in order to survive. I just don't understand how these rich people can just let it happen, let all this carnage happen in our world. You know, people dying of preventable diseases, people dying of thirst and hunger, you know, famine, all the old shit that has been going on for who knows how long. And we all know that in the 80s they had a thing on in the 80s called Band-Aid. Band-Aid is actually like all these music celebrities getting together and singing for, and I think the proceeds from their sale of their albums and shit goes towards making the world a better place for less fortunate countries like Ethiopia. But basically, even as an 11-year-old, this was I think Christmas 1994. No, 1984. It was that long ago. And I realised, even as a child, my intuition told me that this is not good enough. This is not going to feed everyone. This is not going to end. Well, I was thinking along the lines of this is not going to end famine, in so many words. I really had a feeling, even back then, that Band-Aid wasn't good enough. And at best, it's a Band-Aid for a gaping wound. This is a gaping wound we have to fucking dress up. We can't just have solutions like that, which are not solutions. Sure, and the money just doesn't last. It goes quickly, and it's at best, as I said, it's like a Band-Aid on a gaping wound. It's not going to fucking fix the problem. But I know they were meaning well, that they meant well by making this thing called Band-Aid, but basically it doesn't last. The money doesn't last, and it doesn't cover everyone. The kind of difference I'm talking about making is trying to give as much of my earnings away as a CEO of this photocopier company to helping and I'm going to be a scientist, so these are like things that I would enjoy doing like hobbies, but these are not just hobbies. These hobbies are to be used as a way of helping the planet. So solving climate change, harnessing the power of lightning, just a couple of the things I mentioned just then. Yeah, so basically I want to make a difference. So I'm doing things that I love, like photocopiers, science and physics and shit, and I'm making a difference at the same time. You got to find something you're passionate about, because that'll make it easier to make a difference. If you just care about the money, it's not going to work. You're not going to have any enthusiasm or any kind of drive. You're just going to be in it for the money, and then you fuck the planet. You're just like every other money fucker. So we don't want to be money fuckers. For the future, we need to keep the future alive. We've got to keep the human race alive. Planet Earth must continue to function. I don't believe it's wise to put it all on the premise that we can colonise Mars because we've fucked our planet. Well, where are all the resources going to come from? You're going to have to be a very ecologically sound person if you want to colonise a far-off planet called Mars. So you got to think that this is the only place we've got. There is no planet B. But this looks really nice. This has come out better than I thought. I think now we can call this money fucked I'm meaning well by money fucked. My version. We'll call this money fucked demo. Quits.